Hello, how we doing? Just get myself comfortable. Just giving people a few moments to arrive. Just sit back. Just feel your breath. Listen to the traffic. Yeah. You're welcome, Mada. I think it's Mada. Hello, Sue. Just waiting for people to arrive. Just have a quiet moment. Hello, Stuart. Natalie. So if you do me a little favor, everybody, if you would just share this on your timeline so that we reach more people, that would be appreciated. And alongside this, there is a free meditation page, a free resources page on the website. You've got the link there. Hello, Sam. So all these are free. So last week we talked about, or rather on Wednesday, we talked about interconnectedness and the cracked mug for those of you who are familiar with it. And if you're not, you can go to the page on the website. And it's on there. Yeah, this is the fifth talk I've given. And this takes place from the Kuti meditation space in Newtown Linford in the centre of England, in the Midlands in the UK. And yeah, this is our contribution to what's going on in the world. Because it's a bit of a strange time, isn't it? Our intention is to help people create a time of self-isolation and giving some structure to it and turning it into a home retreat. And what we suggest is you just have 3 15 or 20-minute periods each day where you take time out and you listen to 2 of the meditations on the page that you got the link to. And maybe the other one is if you've got a garden, doing some walking meditation or do some stretching. So just those 3 periods, 15 to 20 minutes during the day. It's a very simple structure. And there's instructions on the page. And towards the second half of this session, I'm going to guide us through a mountain meditation. Because I think we need some mountain qualities during this period. Steadfastness, imperturbability, steadiness. But first of all, I just want to share a metaphor. And this originated from this lovely woman here. I don't know whether you can quite see. This is Charlotte Joko Beck. And when there are hurricanes, and imagine an aircraft in a hurricane. What often happens is that the pilot, they've been known to take the aircraft into the eye of the hurricane. It's quieter in there. Okay, and that's absolutely fine. That's what needs to happen to protect the plane. And they have to keep their focus on the instrument panel in front of them. Their focus needs to be on that. His or her focus needs to be on that instrument panel. So they miss everything. They're focused. They have to give their attention to all the instruments, making sure that the right speed, right height, etc. And they miss the wind and the rain and everything else, okay? Now imagine a glider pilot. Instead of going into the eye of the hurricane, they're just up there and they're up and down, round, and they're blown about by the gales and the warm rain and the lightning. It's very exciting. Okay. Now, why am I telling you this? The reason is that we live our life as though we're in the aircraft in the middle of a hurricane. We feel buffeted by life, don't we? The storms of life. We all feel buffeted by them to some degree. And look what's going on in the world at the moment. Hello, Ian. Definitely lots of buffeting going on. And we feel rather helpless. Nobody prepared me for this. So like the pilot protects the plane, we try to protect ourselves in a similar way. Hello, Angie. We keep our focus on our instrument panel. And our instrument panel is like an obsession with ourself and how we are, how we appear to the world. Am I okay? Am I accepted? Am I acceptable? Is anything going to hurt me? And so we are like the pilot in the plane. We miss out on life because we're obsessed with ourselves. Now, I'm not saying we don't take necessary precautions, like in the pandemic we've got. We do have to take necessary precautions. But we don't have to focus solely on ourselves and our instrument panel. And even when the pandemic is over, that same habitual way of being continues. What we can do, or let me put it another way. Now, instead of the airline pilot doing what he does, imagine the glider pilot. He doesn't need an instrument panel. He doesn't have one. He or she doesn't have an instrument panel. They're just up there enjoying the ride, the swirling winds, the lashing rain, the lightning. The thermals take them up and then they drop in. And it's one great big ride. They enjoy the ride, or they experience the whole of it. Now, what happens to them at the end? They're both going to come down. But if we live our life like the airline pilot, or we live our life like the glider pilot, who's going to know what life is really like? The glider pilot. Because their attention isn't solely focused on themselves. They're alive to life. All the storms and the wet rain and the warm rain and the lightning, that's life happening. And the glider pilot is open to life. even if we're walking up the stairs, even if we are drinking a cup of coffee, if we live our life like a glider pilot, we are open to life, to what life is offering. And life is offering something to us every moment. But if we are obsessed with our overthinking mind, and that's really what the instrument panel is, it's the overthinking mind. We think about ourselves. And that's where our attention goes. And it deadens us. It deadens the senses. That's why a lot of us, as we get older, we don't feel so alive anymore, because the senses are deadened. We don't use them so much. So people ask me what's mindfulness then, because they hear about it. And I don't like to give definitions, and it depends on the individual who asks and the circumstance and the context. But right now, let me give you an example. I was doing a supervision with somebody a while back, and they said the two people in their class didn't quite get what mindfulness was. Don't quite get it. She'd explained it at length. And then two people said, I still don't understand it. I still don't get it. Then I said, what did you do then? Thinking that's a great opportunity. She said, oh, well, I tried to explain further. I thought, oh. What I said to her was, feel your contact with the chair now. Feel yours. Feel your contact with the chair now. What's to get or not to get about that? Because that's it. That's what mindfulness is. It's being alive to the moment. And what's the moment right now? You're hearing to this voice. You're listening to this voice some of the time. You can see those sight of the flowers. You feel your contact with the chair. And when you get up from here, you'll go have a cup of tea. You go for a walk. You go to the bathroom. And all the time, the senses are being activated. It's our connection with the world. But what will happen? You'll get up from here, you'll go make your tea or whatever, and then you'll disappear into the mind again. What if? What will happen if? I wish I hadn't done that. And off we go again. Well, I wonder what it'll be like if that works or that doesn't work. And we get lost in it all. And we've lost the world. We lose the world. So mindfulness is simply coming back to the senses. Right now, I can hear some distant traffic. That's it. It's not complicated. Quite often people are waiting for a philosophical sort of explanation of it. There isn't one. It's so simple. Oh. So this is it. Yes. But what would you rather do? Instead of being the glider pilot, engaging with the world through the senses, we'd rather be the airline pilot, thinking about life. We'd rather think about life, a life that we don't have, than experience the life that we have. I'm going to say that again. Just ponder that. We'd rather think about a life that we don't have instead of experiencing the life that we do have. Because when we go into our thinking about life, it gives us a false sense of security and control. Now, I don't mean to say we don't have to think sometimes, we do, but we can do it consciously. We sit down, we need to work on something. It might be our work project or whatever it is, or planning a holiday. That's functional thinking, that's fine. But most of our thinking is unconscious. It's what in Buddhism we call papancha, a kind of repetitive, like a mental static. And most of it's about us. That's the control panel. Let's just have a pause. I'm going to read a short poem. Hello, Sharon. So you want to know what mindfulness is? Feel the breath. That's it. Just be alive to the moment. In a little while, I'm going to guide us through a slightly longer meditation called a mountain meditation. So you can sit quietly still. You can close your eyes if you want. I'm just going to read this poem by Donna Falls. It only takes a reminder to breathe, a moment to be still. And just like that, something in me settles, softens, makes space for imperfection. The harsh voice of judgment drops to a whisper. And I remember again that life isn't a relay race, that we will all cross the finish line, and that waking up to life is what we were born for. As many times as I forget, catch myself charging forward without even knowing where I am going, that many times I can make the choice to stop, to breathe, to just be and walk slowly into the mystery. So we're all going to cross the finish line. And I touched on this in the nexting video a few days ago. But what mindfulness can do, it can give us a kind of, this period we have of, most of us are home isolating, not all of us. But I'm speaking to you now. Hello, Jan. Yeah, it's a lovely poem, isn't it? And this period is going to be, at some point, it will pass. And you look back on it and think, are you going to think, oh, I could have made more of that? I could have not spent all my time worrying. I could have really used it to wake up to life. And that doesn't mean to say we go jumping off cliffs and climbing Mount Everest and jumping out of planes with half a parachute, or nothing wrong with all that, but it doesn't mean that. It means waking up to the life you have. Mindfulness is about you, the meditator, the person who's meditating. Who are you and your relationship to life? That's all we have. And the quality of our life depends on the quality of our mind. The quality, what we're doing with meditation, with mindfulness, we're improving the quality of our mind. It's like if you improve the quality outside here, there's a garden, there's earth, soil. The mind is like the soil. If you improve the quality of that soil, everything that grows out of that earth, that soil, is stronger, brighter, more robust, more resilient. Everything. When we meditate and improve the quality of our mind, the whole of our life improves. Not perfect. As the poem says, we create room for imperfection. And no matter where you go, no matter what you do, you take the mind with you and you do it with the mind. No matter what it is. You could say instead of the quality of our being. Because how often do we spend time just lost in the head? So I'm going to guide us through thank you, Trudy. By the way, if you wouldn't mind, so we can reach more and more people with these free sessions, guys, is sharing it with on your timeline. If you wouldn't mind doing that, that would really help. So I think I'm going to guide us through a mountain meditation. So just come back, come out of that pretty little head, give up your papancha, come back into the body. Now what I'd like you to do is either picture or just bring to mind a mountain. And we're going to sit like a mountain. I'm going to tell you why. A mountain has a peak, sides, and a broad base, just like we do. A mountain just sits quietly. A mountain is still. So let's sit quite still, not rigid, just still. A natural stillness. There's breathing happening. A mountain isn't rigid, it just is. A mountain sits uncomplaining, accepts everything. The storms, the sunshine, the blizzards and gales. Animals, people walking on it. It just sits, open, rooted. It's silent. It doesn't judge. There's no good or bad. There's no right or wrong. A mountain is not easily moved. It just sits regardless. There's a strength there in its stillness. Just feel that in yourself. That mountain quality, those mountain qualities. It's not trying to achieve anything. It's not wishing things were different. And whilst we're sitting here like a mountain, life happens. There are sounds, bodily sensations. There may be smells and tastes. But we just sit calmly. The only thing that disturbs us is our own mind. So we turn away, thank you, but no thank you, and return back to the body, to the mountain. Just sense that rootedness here. So carry on sitting if you wish. Just going to say a few words. So in a few minutes she'll get up and get on with our day. And I'd just like you to take just a little of this mountain attitude into your day. A kind of steadfastness, a kind of being here. As a mountain is always here. It's never not here. Of course, we will get hooked into the thinking mind, and that's fine. And we just say to ourselves, thinking, and we come back. Engage the senses, be alive to the world. And when you take your sessions, which I suggested at the beginning, each day for your home retreat, really it's a time for waking up to the life we have. We learn to give up the drama of the head. The head is full of drama. And we're the star of the show. And that's why we're addicted to it. It's our primary addiction is to thinking in that way, self-centered thinking. It's not wrong, it's not right, it's just unhelpful. It just messes us up. So don't spend these next few weeks or few months, however long we have, in worry. Somebody once said, what do you mean worry never changes anything? Every time I worry about something, it never happens. Think about it. We have worrying mind, but we can begin to take the charge out of it by taking our attention away. Thank you, no, thinking. And then we bring it into real life. There's the false world of all that thinking. I'm not talking about functional thinking, which I've mentioned, that's fine. And into when you're walking, just walk. Someone once asked the Zen master, what's the secret of life? He said, well, when you're walking, just walk. When you're drinking tea, just drink tea. That's it. But we prefer to do 12 things at once. Okay, so this video will be on the page that you got the link for, guys, on the website. Do share it with people. Do share the page with people. They're all free on there. And yeah, on Monday, I'm going to talk about a room with 2 doors. Sounds exciting, doesn't it? Talk about how to work with difficult emotions, because they're going to be coming up. We've talked about the mind, and now we want to talk about the emotions. And yeah, I am running a drop-in this evening. If anybody's interested, just drop me a line. It's 6:30 till 7:30. Okay, guys. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. If you want to be notified of future ones here, just you could just like the page, and then you'll find them, find the invites.